Hey there, gaming enthusiasts. Welcome to Gaming Axia, your go-to source for all amazing games. Today, we're looking at 15 of the best modern isometric ARPGs that are absolutely worth buying in 2025. From dark fantasy worlds and deep build systems to fast-paced combat and massive loot hunts, these games prove that the isometric ARPG genre is alive and kicking. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. On number 15, we have Coridden. So, Coridden is one of those classic indie games that just screams creativity. You can tell the developers had a lot of passion behind it. The game takes place in this super unique world, kind of prehistoric but also filled with futuristic tech like computers and holograms. You play as a character who gets these mysterious gauntlets that let you shapeshift into different reptiles, as long as you've got the right DNA. The shapeshifting is the best part of the game. Every form feels different with its own abilities and playstyle. Add that to the co-op mode, and you've got a fun setup for teaming up with a friend or sibling. On number 14, we have Death's Door. Every once in a while, a game comes out that just grabs you. You think, okay, I'll stop after this boss, but then it's suddenly 2 a.m. and you've got work in 4 hours. Yeah, that's Death's Door. So in Death's Door, you play as a tiny crow whose job is to reap souls. Sounds simple, right? But things get messy when one of the souls you're supposed to collect gets stolen. To fix that, you'll have to take down 3 massive bosses, explore mysterious worlds, and slowly uncover what's really going on. It's a mix of ARPG, Zelda-style exploration, hyper-light drifter-style combat, and just the right touch of dark humor. It's not overly difficult like Dark Souls, but it still gives you a fair challenge. The kind that keeps you hooked without feeling unfair. On number 13, we have Drova Forsaken Kin. So, this game is described as a gothic-inspired pixel art RPG, and honestly, I wasn't sure how that would work in a top-down style. But after playing it, I've got to say, this one quietly impressed me. The game nails that dark gothic atmosphere perfectly. It gives you a world that's not massive, but it feels alive and full of things to discover. It doesn't hold your hand either. You're free to explore, mess up, and figure things out on your own. The combat is where things get intense. It's skill-based, not level-based. Enemies hit hard, and timing your dodges and attacks is key. You can switch between 2 weapon sets, experiment with different builds, and earn new abilities as you keep fighting. On number 12, we have Rum Gun. This is a fun little ARPG with a cool pirate theme, and honestly, for a game made by just one developer, it's really impressive. Right from the start, you can feel the passion behind it. The game opens with this beautiful 3D isometric view of the ocean. For such a small game, it looks amazing. On top of that, the gameplay is smooth and easy to pick up. You move with WASD, aim with your mouse, and use your weapons with simple controls. You can even heal yourself by drinking rum, which fits perfectly with the pirate theme. There's also this cool fiddle mechanic. You can use it to pull loot from a distance or even heal your companions, because yes, you get squad mates too. On number 11, we have Heroes of Hammerwatch II. If you haven't heard of it yet, this is a roguelite ARPG that mixes dungeon crawling, town building, and of course, permadeath. Sounds brutal, right? But it's also super addictive. You pick from 7 different classes like Paladin, Warrior, Rogue, and more, then dive into randomly generated dungeons filled with enemies, loot, and traps. Each run feels different. You never know what kind of buffs or gear you'll find, and that keeps the game feeling fresh every time you play. The game's pixel art style is also charming. It's got that old school SNES vibe, but still looks sharp on modern screens. And the best part? You don't need a powerful PC to run it. Even if you're rocking a potato laptop, you'll be fine. On number 10, we have Minecraft Dungeons. You know that feeling when you start a game and instantly realize, Yeah, this is going to be fun. That's exactly how Minecraft Dungeons felt after just a few minutes of playing it. It's simple, easy to get into, and it's the kind of fun you can count on even if it doesn't last forever. The game isn't trying to change the ARPG world. It's a smaller, more casual dungeon crawler with a short campaign you can finish in a few hours. But it's replayable and it's got that just one more run kind of fun. The coolest part is how your character is built. There are no complex stats or skill trees, everything depends on your gear. You've got armor, weapons, and 3 artifact slots that give you active powers. On number 9, we have No Rest for the Wicked. This game comes from the same studio behind the Ori series, and this time they've gone all in on a gritty isometric ARPG. It's currently in early access on PC, and honestly, it already looks and feels incredible. Moon Studios is trying to mix Souls-like combat with beautiful handcrafted visuals and a dark living world that changes around you. The game starts strong. You wake up on a ship caught in a raging storm, heading toward an island everyone fears. The tone immediately hits different from Ori. It's darker, heavier, and grounded in brutal realism. Once you gain control, you can instantly feel the weight behind every swing and movement. The combat is slow, deliberate, and punishing. Definitely not a button masher. You need good timing, stamina control, and patience to survive. On number 8, we have Diablo 4. Let's be real, the launch wasn't perfect. The always online requirement still annoys people, and the end game can feel grindy. However, the game does looks and sounds incredible. The cinematics are gorgeous, the voice acting is top-notch, and the music hits hard. Everything feels dark, heavy, and beautifully detailed. From creepy swamps to bloody temples, Blizzard nailed the atmosphere. When it comes to gameplay, the combat feels great, most of the time. Early on, it can feel slow or repetitive, like you're always almost having fun, waiting for your build to finally click. But once you start unlocking legendary gear and deeper skill synergies, it all comes together. That's when Diablo 4 shines, when your build finally feels powerful and every click is satisfying. On number 7, we have Halls of Torment. This is a survivor-like ARPG that looks like an old-school Diablo from the 90s, dark, gritty, and full of skeletons to smash. You can let your hero attack automatically or play with a controller, but honestly, clicking like crazy through waves of enemies just feels right. Each run lasts about 30 minutes, where you fight through endless enemies, collect gems to level up, and unlock new abilities that automatically trigger during combat. You'll also find gear like in Diablo, which you can store and equip on any of the 11 unlockable characters. The more you play, the stronger and faster you get. And when bosses show up, the screen fills with projectiles like a bullet hell. On number 6, we have Hell Clock. This is a newly released dark and fast-paced roguelite ARPG made by Rogue Snail. Visually, Hell Clock looks incredible. The art feels like a living comic book, dark and gritty. Kind of like Darkest Dungeon, but with smoother animation and 3D touches. Now, on to the good stuff, the gameplay. Each run, you'll rush through rooms filled with enemies, loot, and power-ups trying to reach the exit before time runs out. See, there's a reason it's called Hell Clock. There's literally a countdown timer always ticking. When it hits 0, your run ends no matter what. It sounds stressful, but it actually keeps every run exciting and fast-paced. You'll constantly balance between exploring, fighting, and racing against time.
Further up this road.
On number 5, we have Titan Quest II. 18 years. That's how long fans have been waiting for Titan Quest II. And now that it's finally here, let's start with the most important thing. How does it feel to fight? Honestly, it feels great. Every hit lands with a solid punch, and the effects are flashy, but not over the top. The combat is slower than most ARPGs like Diablo 4 or Path of Exile, but in a good way. It gives every swing more weight, and you can still build for speed if you want. The spells are a blast too, literally. My favorite is ice shards that spin around you like a deadly halo, waiting to shred anything that gets too close. Some basic attacks could use a bit more polish though. Staves in particular feel a little stiff, which is a shame because casting spells through a staff looks awesome. On number 4, we have Hades 2. Just like the first game, Hades 2 started out in early access. That gave Supergiant Games time to fine-tune everything, balancing the combat, polishing the world, and adding tons of new content. And honestly, that time paid off big. This sequel takes everything great about the first game and pushes it even further. The world is bigger, the combat is deeper, and the story hits harder. You'll meet new characters, use brand new weapons, and dive into an even more complex system of powers and upgrades. It feels like Hades, but evolved in every possible way. And of course, Hades 2 looks and sounds incredible. The hand-drawn art is even more detailed, the music is amazing as always, and the boss fights are pure chaos in the best way. On number 3, we have V-Rising. Vampires are just cool, right? And video games have always known that. V-Rising takes that classic vampire fantasy and mixes it with survival gameplay and deep castle building mechanics. Building your castle is one of the most satisfying parts of the game. You can design rooms, build 6 floors high, make prisons, weapon rooms, and even machines that drain the life out of your enemies. It's dark, creative, and super fun. Outside your castle is where the action begins. Wolves, bandits, giant spiders, everything wants you dead. But you're not weak either. You'll unlock tons of vampire powers, spells, and weapons. Most of the game revolves around hunting powerful bosses, around 60 of them. Beating these bosses unlocks new abilities, blueprints, and magic for your arsenal. On number 2, we have Last Epoch. What started as just another Diablo-style ARPG has now turned into something much bigger, a deep, complex, and incredibly fun game that sits right between Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2. One of my favorite things about Last Epoch is simple, offline mode. You can play completely solo without lag, disconnections, or random online bugs. And if you do want to go online later, you can switch anytime. It's perfect for players who just want to grind and chill. So, what's the actual game like? Well, at its core, Last Epoch is a classic ARPG. You pick a class, jump into combat, kill enemies, grab loot, and level up fast. There are 5 starting classes: Sentinel, Rogue, Mage, Primalist, and Acolyte. Then, after a few milestones, you unlock advanced Mastery classes, which completely change how you play.
Stand down or die.
On number 1, we have Path of Exile 2. Right now, the game is in its preview phase, but you can already play it by buying early access, which also gives you some in-game points. Later, once it fully releases, it's going to be completely free to play, with the same point system for cosmetics and stash upgrades if you want. And honestly, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 already feels like a complete AAA game. A lot of that comes down to how deep the customization goes. The socketed rune system, massive passive skill tree, weapon mods, and stat upgrades all give you endless options to fine-tune your build. You can even respec your character without spending real money, which is awesome. And there you have it, fellow gamers. Which game is your favorite? Did we miss one that deserves a spot on the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more epic gaming content, and ring that bell so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest games. Until next time, and happy gaming.